Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Prophecy in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke. What is up, guys? What is cracking? It's the Con Man, and I am in your house, and you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, I'm excited. I don't know what else to say. I'm just excited. I gotta get it cracking because guess what, baby? Oh yeah, guess what, baby? Oh yeah, WWE is here in Indianapolis. It's time to get gritty in the city of Indianapolis because the Royal Rumble is coming up this weekend. A whole lot of things going down, a whole lot of big events. And we've talked about it, documented it here on this show. But of course, the Royal Rumble is going to be a massive thing for the city of Indianapolis. I'm excited. I'm going to be there in the mix. Hey, if you see me there, come and holler at your boy. It's going to be my birthday. But if you want to see me before the Royal Rumble, if you want to come hang out with your boy, you can catch me Saturday hanging out in the city because I'm going to be going around scouting a little talent, getting some interviews, and that's at Wrestle Arts 21. And I had to bring my man on to come and talk about it. He is the promoter of Wrestling Arts, and that is David Staggs coming on to talk about Wrestle Arts 21 Royal Rumble weekend. What is up?
Hey, House. Thanks for having me on, man. It's great to be here.
Hey, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you taking the time. I know a lot of things are going down. You're super busy. Everybody's super busy right now. That is involved in the city of Indianapolis and that is involved in professional wrestling. But it is amazing, man. I'm seeing it and feeling it in the city, man. I don't know if you saw earlier, David, but they're actually renaming some of the streets out there, and that's amazing. Like
I did.
Johnson, I couldn't even see it.
I don't think I can drive on that road. I don't know where it goes. No, I love seeing the love for wrestling come out of the city. I think the partnership that the Indiana Sports Group and Indianapolis made with WWE to bring big-time wrestling events here is excellent. I think Indianapolis is a great town, and it's a historical wrestling town. We had wrestling here at the turn of the 20th century. For over 120 years, wrestling events have been happening in the city. Big ones, major ones. Dick the Bruiser used to sell out the Expo Center for big matches. This is a town where wrestling is firmly in our blood, and it's nice to see that get represented and appreciated.
Most definitely. No, I absolutely agree with that. And I just love the love that Indianapolis has for professional wrestling. Just like you said there, it goes really deep here. But one thing that we haven't had, David, is the Royal Rumble, and we're hosting our first ever Royal Rumble, man. We're going to talk about Wrestle Arts 21 because there's going to be a lot of wrestling going down. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get it twisted. This is very much going to be like a WrestleMania week that you would see following WrestleMania. They've done it in Philadelphia. They've done it for so many years. This is what we're doing because this is what Indiana does. When we get something like this, we rally around it and make it big. But I got to ask you before we get into Wrestle Arts 21, the Royal Rumble being here for the first time ever, and as long as you've been a wrestling fan and obviously a historian of it, what's it like, man? What's that feeling that the Royal Rumble is finally here?
I'll be honest, I didn't think we were ever going to get one. I was at WrestleMania 8 when it was in the Hoosier Dome. Right? I was there live, And I didn't think we were ever going to get one of the tent poles, right? One of the marquee big four events here again, because we so long where we get some TV, we'd have some good shows here, but we weren't getting the major things. We were always on the road to something major,
Yeah.
and it made me feel good because we hosted the Super Bowl, a decade ago or so.
Yep.
It did great. We just had NBA All-Star Weekend last year. We showed out. It was a great weekend, and I think people are finally starting to understand that Indianapolis can put on major events of any kind, of any sporting event, any entertainment event. We often get overshadowed because Chicago is 3 hours
Right.
away,
Yeah,
and
right
that's
there. Yeah.
such a mecca of everything in the world. That's nice to see some love come down here, because I think as a city we go out for anything big that comes here. We put on for.
Agreed. Agreed. That's what I love about Indiana, honestly, man. It's really cool to be a part of this, and so many awesome things going down. But Wrestle Arts 21 and Wrestle Arts, I just got a chance to really start attending Wrestle Arts last year, and I gotta say, the shows that I went to, I enjoyed them. They were fun, and great matches, great competitors. Just another great place where you can see some of Indiana's finest competitors going at it. And now there's opportunity to see have even more people see them with the Royal Rumble coming here. Wrestle Arts 21 is going to be a major event that's going down this Saturday, February 1st at noon. Why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about it and this massive event that you guys were putting on? Because if I remember correctly, you guys announced that you guys were going to be running the show the weekend of Royal Rumble before anybody.
Yeah, we were the first to announce, because we were probably the first to have a plan and have it, ready to go, because we have a great partnership with the Irving Theater. They always take care of us. It's a great partnership. And with the Rumble coming here, we thought, it's a great opportunity to have, there's going to be 60,000 people at the Rumble, people from all over the world there. What a great opportunity to showcase what we do and what Wrestle Arts is about, and give a taste to new fans. Because as a wrestling company, you're always trying to find new ways to get in front of people, new eyes on your product. Because if you're not growing, you're dying, right? If you're not growing and evolving, you're tapped out. And we said, this is a great chance to put our best foot forward. Let's put on a really good show from top to bottom. Let's have great wrestlers, great athletes come in and put on a show that anybody can come to, because that's also important. We are a community-driven wrestling company, so we also want to have wrestling shows that are accessible for all fans, where you can come in. It's affordable. It is relatively family friendly, and I use relatively because wrestling is wrestling. It's a contact sport, right? So if you don't like contact sports, it might not be for you. But we want people to bring their family. We want it to be like wrestling was for so much of its history, where it was a staple of the community, where it was something you and your spouse and your children and your friends could all come out to and support, and have your favorites and cheer and boo and be a regular part of your life.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I really agree with that. Like I said, I love what you guys do, and I love what's going to be going down this weekend. You talked a little bit about the community aspect and everything that goes into it. I wanted to touch on that a little bit, because I always like it, and I always enjoy when we're doing wrestling and we're doing it for a purpose, and that just always hits different for me. So you guys are doing for the community. Could you go ahead and dig into that a little bit? Just like, what are you guys doing to help the community that people need to be paying attention to?
Absolutely. When we call ourselves Pro Wrestling for a Purpose, it's not just a catchy thing to throw out there. We are Indiana's only registered 501c3, which means we are not for profit. We are a charity wrestling company. Our goal is to pour back into the community that that supports us. So we last year in 2024, we put in almost $8,000 back into the community in a variety of ways. Every show we donate a whole group of tickets to Boys and Girls Clubs and to adult care centers for adults with special needs or challenges, right? So they can come out. We donate to the fire department. We donate to other community members. We raise money for a variety of other charitable causes, right? We've raised money for we did a food drive. We've raised money for FIDO, which is Friends of Indianapolis Dogs Outside, right? So animal related charities. We've raised money for people who lost family members soon, and not all of it gets talked about because you don't put it all out in front of everybody, but we try to be very transparent that we're not just running a wrestling company to run a wrestling company. We see wrestling as a vehicle to empower the community, and the long-term goal is to use that to set up a free and reduced cost community arts center for the youth of Indianapolis, right? Because arts is one of the things that don't get enough in schools, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But I think making sure youth have access to media arts classes. So many kids want to be a streamer. They want to be a podcaster. They want to work in esports. It's like, well, they're teaching themselves, or they don't have access to professional equipment, or they might want to work in live events. They might want to work in production. And, I spent 8 years in Hollywood. One of the other guys who works with, he has a filmmaking degree. And it's important to us to provide a place that kids can learn. We're talking right now with some schools about having an internship program so kids can learn editing and learn lighting and sound. And so it's important for us that we don't just talk about it. It's easy to say you care about your community. You have so many places in and out of wrestling do that, but we are trying to actively showcase that this is what we believe in. We raised money for a hospice house last year, right? Was one of the things because hospice care is one of the things nobody wants to ever talk about the importance of hospice care. It's like, no, but we put on for hospice care. And that's what we're going to continue to do, is try to pour money and resources back into our community and put on baller wrestling shows and put on shows that people can enjoy and have a good time at and be proud to be fans of. They don't have to, hide their Wrestle Arts gear. They don't have to, keep it on the down low that, their Wrestle Arts face. Like, no, you can come here and have a good time and, put on. Like, I'm a school teacher as well, right? I teach school, and I have a whole bunch of students that come to the show, right? So, like, I have to make sure that the shows are good because, like, my name and my professional reputation are also there. So it's important to me.
Yeah. No, I respect that. I respect everything that you said there and all the work that you've done for the community. And yeah, I as somebody who does all and takes pride in the production of what I do, the editing, the this and that, I put a lot into that. I definitely respect the fact that you put so much into that and trying to put back into that to the youth. As somebody who is originally from Los Angeles, California, grew up there, born there, raised there, I was definitely around the movie scene a whole lot. I was definitely around the music scene a whole lot. I was in and out of studios and doing all that stuff. So the fact that you're doing that is most definitely amazing. That resonates with me in a really cool way. But man, I got to tell you, Wrestle Arts 21. I just got a chance to go through the card here as you were talking, and I let the household there, everybody out there watching us on YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitch, and then later on, of course, it will be available on demand for the podcast version on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere that you get your
podcasts are found. You're everywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. Yeah, that's what. Yes, sir. Most definitely. And man, this show, the card is just crazy. I can definitely tell that you put a lot into this card, knowing the importance of what this weekend is going to be. Is there any matches that I just kind of went through that you're just? I'm sure. You're the man. You're the guy that's behind all of it. But is there anything where you was like, I really outdid myself with this match?
Look, man, I think Rachel Armstrong versus Lainey Luck is going to be fantastic. Right? Originally, it was
Oh,
going to
that's
be
a
Rachel versus Danny Jordan, and Danny Jordan had some things that she had to take care of, so that couldn't
sure.
happen this show, which is absolutely okay. Ain't mad at that, right? Everybody's got eyes, but Lainey is absolutely. You see Lainey everywhere. She wrestles in Canada for Maple Leaf Wrestling. She's in St. Louis for St. Louis Anarchy and Gory Pro and all over the place. Our lady is incredible. And Rachel's incredible, right? And Rachel lives here in Indianapolis. She's the holder of our women's crown, right? That she just, won a couple months back, right? And she's a fantastic wrestler, but she's a lot smaller than Lainey, right? Rachel's barely over 5 feet tall. And, Lainey's not not a short lady, and she's powerful and she hits hard. And I think that's going to be really a match to watch. And then I'm also really excited about David Ali versus Ace Perry. It's the second time they've wrestled in Wrestle Arts, and the first time it blew my mind. I
can see that blowing your mind. On paper, that's a hell of a match.
On paper, I was like, this is going to be great. And in person, it was even better. It's fantastic. And both David Ali and Ace Perry are two of those guys who I don't know why they're not everywhere. They don't have any weakness in their game. They can do everything, right? And they're both good looking. They look good on a flyer, and they're in good shape. They got stamina for days. They can wrestle. They can fly. They can brawl. They can do all of it. And I don't know why they're not household names. I really don't. And they might bring the Irving down, right? They might end the theater just from how hard they hit and everything. And I'm really excited about that. I'm also, there's not a match on the card that I wouldn't pay to see. There really isn't. I think
a lot of great matches.
I think Aaron Williams versus Dalton McKenzie is going to be incredible. I don't know if you've seen Dalton McKenzie live, House. I don't know if you have. Right.
I have.
But if you Dalton McKenzie, look at him in the graphic, man. He is chiseled out of marble. They don't come off the shelf like Dalton McKenzie. And Aaron Williams, I saw Aaron Williams wrestle for the first time 20 years ago. When I went to an HWA show in Ohio, and he was great then, and he's even better now. I like Aaron Williams.
Amazing.
Yeah, he is so good. And I can't wait to see that. They've had some issues, recently, so it's going to be interesting to see how that sells out. Dalton's young in his career. Aaron's, not young in his career, but can go forever. Aaron beat Nick Aldis. That was his first wrestling match. He beat Nick Aldis. You can't say anything bad about Aaron Williams. Other than he's kind of a jerk, but that's okay. That's okay.
True. That is true.
He could be when you're that good. Sometimes you have to be a jerk, right?
Most definitely, man. It's just exciting. So much excitement going into this weekend, man. And just to be able to say, and I hope, and this is a question I've been asking some of the talent, because I talk to some of the wrestlers on the side. We don't just talk on the podcast. I've been around a lot of these cats since the beginning of their career. So we just talk back and forth, and I ask them man, are you excited about being booked for a Royal Rumble weekend? Is that an achievement being booked for a WrestleMania week is? And the absolute across the board answer has been yes. Everybody is going into this weekend a little bit hungrier. Maybe the chip is a little bit bigger, and everybody's this is an achievement. We're going to be a part of something big. I think there's a lot of electricity in the air, man, as far as what's going into this weekend. And I'm so happy to see Wrestle Arts is going to be such a big part of it.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited for the weekend. I think it's a great opportunity to put yourself in front of new people and to really increase your stock and increase your standing, right? Because with so many eyes on you, you show out. It's you're a sports fan. When you're trying, if you're a college basketball player and you're trying to raise your draft stock, you got to show out in big games. You got to show out on national TV, right? You got to show what you can do when the pressure's on. And
absolutely,
the pressure's on this weekend, right? Because there's going to be so many eyes and people are going to watch so much wrestling that you have to stand out. You have to raise the level of your game to really make an impact, and maybe if you're a wrestler, to get opportunities in places maybe you wouldn't have gotten them before. You know, you only can get those by showing out when the pressure's on. And this is a pressure cooker moment, I think.
I agree with that. Well said, most definitely. Like I said, a whole lot of excitement going around this weekend. And I mean,
there's one match. Sorry to cut you off. We were talking about pressure.
Please,
there's a match, you know, so Josh Crane, who's the Wrestle Arts global openweight crown holder, right? Josh Crane, you know Josh Crane, you know, you've known him for years. He's wrestling Eric Dillinger. He's putting the title on the line against Eric Dillinger, who's a friend of Josh's. We make no bones about it. They don't hate each other, but they want to be better than each other. Man, Eric Dillinger, you know, just went to Japan. You know, he was just in big Japan. Where does Josh Crane want to go back to? He wants to go back to Japan. Right? Yep. That's his dream. He wants to wrestle. I remember him telling me one time he wants to wrestle in the best of the Super Junior tournament in New Japan. That's his 10th pole dream. Well, what's a better way to get back to Japan than showing out against Eric Dillinger, who was just there, than coming out here and getting a big title defense against a guy they just had out, right? That's what I'm talking about when I talk about pressure cooker. Not only is he defending the title, but he has the opportunity to raise his international stock against somebody who's got some international stock.
I mean, yes, I love it. And this is, I mean, I see this matchup here between these two guys, and I know you've heard it in wrestling before, David. Brothers just do it better. And these two are going to most certainly rip each other to shreds over the championship, over the honor. I love it. This is a main event anywhere that you go to, but it's going to be featured on Wrestle Arts 21. So if you want to see something like this between two hot competitors, most definitely check that out. But I want to continue to talk about Wrestle Arts. I want to continue to talk about the big weekend that is coming up. But before we do that, we're going to take a break. We are going to pay a few bills. And when we come back, stay with me, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking Wrestle Arts 21 and the big Royal Rumble weekend with David Staggs.
Hello, everyone. It's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
So, yo, how you what? Mr. Lisbeth, I would call you Hunter, but I don't really know you that well. Mr. Khan, both of y'all, both companies. I just really want to say thank you. Now don't click off this video. I'm still an independent warrior. I know the glazing is crazy, but we gotta call it how it is. Those gentlemen have done an absolutely tremendous job showing the world that Indianapolis is a wrestling town. And I really do appreciate that. But I gotta keep it real with you, man. I gotta do what's best for us here, all over Central Indiana. I gotta put on for everybody from Castleton to Southport, Post Road to Hallville. These are the people that I'm worried about in real Indianapolis. And I don't want to exclude you. To you and anybody else who wants to see real Indianapolis, real independent wrestling, come rock with us. Open invitation. We got this nice little place over here at the Fountain Square Theater, just down the road from the house that's being built. From Thursday, January 30th, to Sunday, February 2nd. From the middle of the week, from the middle of the map, right there in the middle of the ring. Just know, our foot's gonna be in the middle of your ass. Much love, your friends, and that's on All Pro.
Hey guys, welcome back to In Your House. And man, this is once again, like I said, a major weekend for Indianapolis, as we're going to show the world that Indianapolis is a wrestling town. And we can't do that without David Staggs coming and joining us here, WrestleArt's director of operations. And man, this is going to be a massive weekend, man. Super excited for everything that is going down. And man, we have so much wrestling that's coming here, whether it be Combat Crossroads and many other events. That's going to be Revolver is going to be around here, and GCW will be here. Assay Wrestling will be here, and man, there's just so much things going on. I know Chris Van Vliet is doing a podcast tomorrow. SmackDown is here tomorrow. As somebody who has been here in Indianapolis as long as you have and been such a pivotal part of the community, what's it like feeling this heartbeat?
You know, it's incredibly invigorating, I think. You know, when sometimes, you know, you got a job, you got a family, you know how it is sometimes when you're stuck in a routine and it's hard to get excited, and you have to like force yourself to get excited sometimes because, you know, you're juggling all the responsibilities of life. But when something like this happens and this opportunity, it's invigorating, right? It excites you. You know, you bounce out of bed and you're like, man, I can't wait to go get this. I can't wait to do this. You don't have to force yourself to be excited, you know, right? Like being a wrestling promoter sometimes isn't fun, right? It's not, you know, it's hard work. And, you know, and it's not work that I don't like, but it's hard. And sometimes it's not exciting, but this has been exciting. Like, this is like, okay, what a great opportunity to grow a fan base. What a great opportunity to have such a marquee event and a great weekend, right, of activities and, you know, things to do. And you see places like the Toy Pit, you know, having, you know, Mark Henry come out, and you see, them shining. You have, you know, restaurants, you know, naming things after wrestling. You got vintage stores having like a wrestling day where they're gonna, you know, throw out all the vintage wrestling clothes and stuff. And I think that's wonderful, because then, you know, people are tapping in and realizing that there are so many wrestling fans in the city, which I think will only help sustain. Because you grew up like I grew up, where sometimes being a wrestling fan was like it kind of got you ostracized. Or
it did.
Or if you go into a place and you're like, oh yeah, I run a wrestling company, they don't necessarily take you seriously all the time.
Yeah.
You know, they look at it as like, you know, it doesn't get the respect that if you come in and say like, oh man, I own a t-shirt store, right?
Yeah.
People don't look at you, funny. And so I think it's good for businesses and other community groups to see like, no, there are so many wrestling fans here, and they play such a pivotal role in Indianapolis economy that it's going to breathe some life into the local wrestling scene, which has been popping for years, right? Indianapolis has had a vibrant independent wrestling scene, but I don't think potential community partners have looked at it as such always, you know. But I think this will help some of them who've been kind of hesitant to realize that wrestling has such an output for them. You know, we've been fortunate in our time to, you know, we've had love from the Colts, and we've had love from the Pacers and the Fever and Fuel and Indy 11 and the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra, you know, where we've, you know, all these different places that are vibrant in the city. And then we have great partnerships with like Smashed Burger in Irvington.
Oh, yeah.
And Jack's Donuts in Irvington, and there's soon to be Sleepy Hollow Deli, which I'm real excited about. And Giacomo's, where, you know, there are businesses that support wrestling, and I want to see them have this weekend boost them up as well. Where it's like, oh man, they're going to sell so much more pizza. They're going to sell so many more donuts because there's so many people here because of this weird little thing called wrestling that really isn't that little at all. And so they can see, oh yeah, we get it now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that. You made a really good point there as far as like, and I've been seeing it too. I've literally been seeing it in real time. I feel like that the way people see wrestling is beginning to shift. It is feeling like it's this not this niche, really esoteric thing that only a few people. Now they're pulling it into the mainstream, and I think us as fans and personalities and promoters and wrestlers, I think the best thing to do is to be like, hey, come on over. We know you didn't see it before, but hey, come jump into this. We're here. So like, I love it. I think it's great across the board. And I think what
we have
you're
to be inviting, like you just said, like we have to be inviting as a community, because so many communities, when their community starts getting love, they want to push people away. They want to say, no, you weren't here before.
Yeah.
You didn't go through what I went through, right? Because before I was a wrestling promoter, I was a wrestling fan, right?
Sure.
And have been my entire life. And we can't gatekeep, I think is the term.
Sure.
Like we have to take this opportunity to say, no, come on in. You see what we've seen. You see why we like it, and you can understand the importance it plays in people's lives. So come on in, put your feet up, stay a little while. Right? We don't have to run people off. Like this is a great opportunity for us to welcome new people in and be like, come have a seat at the table now. You didn't want to try our food before, but come and try our food now, and let's make it cook. Let's make it happen. I think that's incredibly important as a community here in Indianapolis and at wrestling at large.
Yeah, man. I think it's a really cool opportunity. And earlier you were saying you were a school teacher. I think it's a really cool opportunity to see kids out in schools with wrestling apparel on again and being proud of that. And like, oh yeah, I love this thing. It's this amazing mix of hard hitting action and some theatrics and cool, fireworks and effects and cool costumes and people with a chip on their shoulder, and it's inclusive men and women, and it's just a great opportunity for people to latch on, make this thing cool. And for Indianapolis this weekend, in my opinion, I'm sure you agree too, this weekend is absolutely pivotal, David.
Absolutely. It has to. And I know the weekend is going to be successful and it's going to come off well and everybody's going to shine, which is what, we want. Sometimes people, they think the pie is only for themselves and they don't want, I'm not one of those guys. I want everybody to succeed, because if you succeed and I succeed, that's great. If I'm the only one succeeding, that's not great. As Nims says, if I got a rollie, I want my man to have a rollie. I don't want to be the only one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I want everybody to do well. And so I know this it's going to put on, and I know it's going to be great. But then we have to continue the momentum by keeping the same positive energy, because everything I've seen so far has been positive. And you've been around wrestling long enough to know it's not always like that, right? It's not always positive. There's some people who are some mudslingers and people who, like to pull people down because they don't want to see people succeed.
Sure.
And we got to keep the positivity and the momentum going so that people see that Indianapolis wrestling is welcoming and it is inclusive, and that people aren't turned away, that they can come in, and new fans and old fans, right? They can reignite, they can become fans that, never thought they would, and they can fall in love. And that there's something for everybody. Wrestling has so much, it's got pageantry, it's got drama, it's got some comedy from time to time, it's got love, and it's got hate, right? And it's got physicality. And then really anybody can fall in love with it if you give it a chance. You give it a watch.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's a great point, man. and it's just going to be exciting time for the city. Everything that you are doing, the hand that you have in this, man, I just appreciate you taking the time to come on. I know you got a couple of other media appearances that you got to make before the big show, so I know you only got a little bit of time left, and that is fine. I want to go ahead and just give you the floor, man, give you the opportunity to plug anything that you want to plug and those upcoming appearances that you have to promote Wrestle Arts 21.
I appreciate it. Tomorrow at 8:15, Wrestle Arts will be on the Wish TV morning show, so you'll get to see some Wrestle Arts there, which is great to be live on the local news.
Sure,
right, it doesn't get any better than that, And I really would be remiss if I didn't take the time to thank, the organizations that help us put on, because we don't do it all by ourselves. Right? We have some great community partners. And most of them are in the Irvington area because that's where the bulk of our shows are. But we've got Trapdoor Tattoos in Irvington. We've got Smashed Burger, Jack's Donuts, the soon-to-be Sleepy Hollow Deli that's about to open, Giacomo's Pizza, right? The Purdue Polytech High School that's got a lab school, right? They're pouring into us. All those, right? We have so many people that believe in what we're doing and want to help us do what we're doing. And I want to make sure people know that, because wrestling fans support the people who support wrestling too, right?
Yeah.
If you know that somebody supports wrestling, go show some love there, right? Because I think that's important as well. As a community, we continue to show love to the people that support us. And if you're in the Indianapolis area, anywhere within a easy enough drive, come out to the Irving Theater on Washington Street. It's real easy to find, right? It's a beautiful old theater that's been around for 100 years. The stage in there is the last stage that Elvis Presley performed on. It wasn't in the Irving Theater. It got moved. It was at Market Square Arena. Right? But, it's a historic stage. It's a historic building. You're going to have a good time, right? We got concessions. We got, everything you need. It's a $15 general admission ticket. You can't go to the movies for that anymore, right? And your money's going to a good cause. And you won't ever be ashamed to be a fan of Wrestle Arts. You won't ever feel like we did you dirty, right? I am very accessible. You see me around all show, right? I walk around the entire show. I'm there. I usually have a cowboy hat on, right? I'm real present. Come out and show. We got great athletes, and yeah, I hope people have they're safe coming in, that they're responsible, but that they have a great time and avail yourself of all the opportunities to see all this wrestling, because these weekends are few and far between where you have so much wrestling. It's Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and like SummerSlam. You don't have these kind of weekends all the time where you can see so much quality wrestling in such a short period of time.
For sure. No, absolutely, man. I just really appreciate you taking the time to come on, have a really great discussion with me about what this big weekend and what it is going to be, what it's going to mean for the city. And I'll be locked in. I took my time off. I am officially on my vacation. So
and you've earned it, man. I'm not going to tell people what you do during the day, but I know what it is. And man, you have earned a vacation.
Thank you. I'm so excited, man. Super excited. I'll be locked in to see you guys tomorrow morning and watch that. It's gonna be awesome. I'll be able to just sit up there, have a nice cup of coffee, and just watch. So that'll be great. But yeah, man, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on, man. And I am excited to be out and help move things along promo wise and honestly scout a little talent this weekend at Wrestle Arts 21, man. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I can't wait to have you. And thanks for having me on. I enjoy being had.
Hey, no problem, man. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that is David Staggs doing some great, awesome work there. Wrestle Arts, check us out. Check out what Wrestle Arts is doing. If you're in the area for the Royal Rumble, you might as well come out and see some of the best.
What else do you have to do at noon? What else do you have to do at noon?
Exactly. Just come on.
And, Smash Burger's right next door. They deliver to the building. So they'll bring your food and you can order yourself some lunch. Come and watch some wrestling. What else are you going to do?
There you go. There you go. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, from Experience Smashburger is delicious. So check out everything that they are doing. Check out this weekend. It's going to be great because we're putting in that work here in Indianapolis. And of course, it's HOWSC because that W does stand for work. So for the entire team here at In Your House, Hypocrisy Jones, of course, the voice Josh Joseph, Grunmeister, Divinely Designed Danny O'Neill, the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway, Relentless Ray Larson, and the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon. I'm Alakon, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day, and hey, I'll see a lot of you guys this weekend. Peace.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.